Welcome back. In this video, we are going to talk about time travel versus failsafe. Snowflake often talks about a concept called failsafe, and many Snowflake developers think that failsafe is an extension of the time travel. No, it is not. Let's understand the purpose of failsafe. The time travel can be defined for a table and it can be 0 to 1 day for standard Snowflake edition and 0 to 90 days for enterprise edition and above. Let's take the same example where we loaded the data and we can define the state of the data as V1 on the day 1. On the day 7, we can say the state of the day is V7, and on the 97th day, we can say the state of the data is 97. So this is how it looks like. Each of this version are having a query ID, so we can always access this data through the extended SQL for this table. Assume that we have given the time travel value as 90 days. A Snowflake user can access the data for this period. And once this period is over, the data goes to fail-safe storage layer, which is fixed of 7 days for a permanent table and 0 days for transient and temporary tables. If you have to extract data from the fail-safe storage layer, you have to contact Snowflake support team, and there is no way that you can use extended SQL or any other mechanism to extract it. Failsafe's primary intent is very different from the time travel feature. Failsafe ensures historical data is protected in the event of system failure or other catastrophic event, that is a hardware failure or a security breach. Failsafe is not provided as a means of accessing historical data after the time travel retention period has ended. It is for use only by Snowflake to recover data that may have been lost or damaged due to extreme operational failure. We know Snowflake allows us to create transient and temporary tables, and we will understand how does it work with time travel feature. When we talk about temporary or transient tables, the time travel behavior is slightly different compared to the permanent tables. And we'll try to understand this with an example. So let's say we have a customer table and the table is defined as a transient or a temporary table. We have covered this concept in the previous section, and please refer to that before going towards this video. So the table version V0 where data is loaded via the copy command, then an ETL performs some update operation on a day 1 at a time T1, and this point we can access data for the last 24 hours, or we can say for the last 1 day. As you move to the next day, the next ETL operation happens. We would not be able to access version V0 as it is outside of the 24 hours window or a 1 day window for temporary or a transient table. Then further ETL operation happens, and if we reach to the 90th day, we would not be able to access any data from version V0, V1 or V2, and we would be accessing only the current date time minus 24 hours of the historical data and not beyond that window for temporary and transient table. And that is one of the biggest difference with transient or temporary table versus a permanent table. The default time travel retention period is 1 day, and if you set it to 0, then you would not be able to access any historical data for temporary and transient tables. Now let's quickly see how the fail-safe period looks like. The fail-safe period for temporary or the transient table is always 0, so it does not even change no matter whether you have a standard or a higher edition of Snowflake. Unlike permanent table where the fail-safe period is 7 days for temporary and the transient table, it is always 0. And this is done for a purpose if you are doing a lot of development activities and you don't want to retain the data because it is constantly changing, and you can create a transient table instead of creating a permanent table. Because if you create a permanent table, even if you drop the table, you still have to incur the 7-day storage cost. So this is very important fact, and it is very important to remember if you are constantly working in Snowflake. So that's all about Snowflake time travel versus failsafe. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one.